Ready? So apparently, Bloodborne, they're saying, is supposedly doing something right now, chat. But supposedly, I'm thinking that they're saying "Dear PlayStation" or something like that, right? Well, let's watch it. Yeah. But anyways, what are our thoughts on Dark Souls kind of games, chat? Like, what are our thoughts? Can we hear it now?
Let's jump into the thing that I know Brian wants to talk most about, Bloodborne. Bloodborne's 10, buddy. How you feeling today? Are you excited? Are you excited? Like, are you on pins and needles for this announcement that's never gonna ever come?
Okay, so it's really difficult being a Bloodborne fan. It's just really tough. We got the original game. There's some art books, some toys, some statues, a couple of like plushies and t-shirts through Fangamer and stuff like that. But ever since then, we really haven't gotten anything. 2015, the game got its final patches a couple months after release date. Also got the Old Hunters DLC, which is amazing. But since then, outside of the occasional acknowledgement from Sony, like PlayStation sort of being like, hey, we're going to put the Bloodborne Hunter in one of our recent ads, or hey, the Bloodborne Hunter is an Astrobot. This game hasn't gotten any patches. It's gotten basically no love. And what's even worse than that is
a game from like 2011, chat. It's like nobody's gonna have to love it unless that they actually play through it. Like that's the thing. Like all the Dark Souls games people loved back then, right? But Sekiro. Like I feel like people that are playing these types of games still to this day, it's like they need to do something with the actual boss fights, in my opinion, right? I mean, let's be reasonable.
Fans have taken this into their own hands, which is great. They've, figured out how to get the game running on PC, frame rates above 30 FPS, running it above 1080p resolution. All of those things got cease and desisted by Sony. So not only is Sony doing nothing with this IP, one of the most beloved PlayStation exclusives of all time, one of the best games ever made, they're actively going against the people who are doing something about it, who aren't even profiting off of it. Even Nightmare Kart, which was a sort of Bloodborne fan kart racing game, had to change its name to Nightmare Kart. There was a Bloodborne demake with like PS1 graphics that got got cease and desisted. So Sony's going after Bloodborne fans for doing something with this IP while doing nothing with it themselves. 10 years in, we're seeing remasters for pretty much every single Sony game ever, right? Days Gone is getting one. The Last of Us has gotten 16 remasters on every single platform available. They've remastered games like Horizon, which came out a few years after Bloodborne.
They need to remaster Elden Ring, right? They need to remaster. They remastered Last of Us, but like the first one I beat all the way. But I'm thinking I never really played Days Gone that much. But what's another game they should remaster? Comment down below. Actually. I mean, I'd love to see all kinds of games, just come up with one or two HDs.
It looked and ran great. Horizon's gotten sequels. It's gotten VR spin-offs. There's just, I'm sure there'll be like a theme park ride at some point. Action figures. It's just so much easier to be a fan of those things.
Oh, yeah. I have so many action figures and figurines, and they're badass. They're fun to.
And being a Bloodborne fan, it stings. It hurts. It's painful as playing, as tough as playing the actual game itself. Since then, FromSoft has gone on to make a bunch of stuff. The Dark Souls franchise is amazing. Obviously, Dark Souls 3 is one of the best games ever made. Elden Ring is phenomenal. Sekiro rules. We've gotten so much cool stuff from them. But they haven't gone back to this. And I think part of that is because it didn't exactly light the world on fire sales-wise. And that's a bummer. But I think this is a game that, there's really nothing like it. It does gothic horror probably better than any video game ever made. It's tough as nails. The atmosphere is incredible. The music's fantastic. The combat is amazing. I platinum this game, plus the DLC. More people deserve to play this, but I don't think they want to play a game that hasn't, on a technical level, aged very well. This is a mid PS4 game, right? This is from 2015. So this desperately needs a performance patch or a remaster, maybe even a Blue Point style remake like we got for Demon Souls. There's so much that could be done here. The 10-year anniversary has passed, and we've gotten nothing, and it sucks. I'm sick of it. I hope something gets done with this IP someday because Bloodborne fans deserve it.
Well, Brian, you said that the sales didn't light the world on fire. Do you think that has anything?
Hat has to be worn by hunters who admire formality. That means the hunters are basically trying so hard to thread themselves. they're basically trying to show how the hunters are in the game, and then how precisely what keeps the hunters from becoming something else. Yeah, like they're trying to show themselves and basically how they approach you in the game and how they're going to get ready to fight you, and then you find your way to like have your own weapon stance and like get back to them. Like that's, I mean, let's be real. Like that's just how, you know.
To do with it, like maybe they know that there is, like, obviously there's a fan base there, but you know, maybe they're thinking like to the wider audience, this game won't resonate.
You know? Yeah, I think you're spot on. If you think about it, like the way it came out in the sort of trajectory of like where FromSoft was, like, they had yet to put out a bunch of the games that like ended up selling way more like they're out now. Like Elden Ring is by far their biggest hit ever, and I think like having a remaster of Bloodborne and saying like from the studio that brought you Elden Ring, you know, is enough to get people on the hook who maybe missed it the first time around. Yeah. We've seen this so many times with PlayStation, where people will come into a new generation as first-time PlayStation owners. Like a lot of us have owned PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, and our backs and knees hurt, right? We've been doing this for a long time. But there's a lot of people that bought a PS5 as their first PlayStation console. Maybe they missed Bloodborne. It's always on sale, but you know, it's hard to get somebody to play something that's like 1080p sub 30 FPS for the first time in 2025. And so I think giving it a performance patch, a remaster, remake, something of that magnitude, and saying from the studio that brought you Elden Ring, from the creators of this, and this, would get a lot of people on board and would get a lot of attention on this. Like, you know, Days Gone didn't exactly set the world on fire sales wide, but Days Gone didn't do nothing about it. It is getting you know, a new remaster. It is coming to PC. This is a game that never came to PC. It's literally like landlocked on PS4. People have it running on emulators through PC. And they're doing amazing work in that community, and I keep an eye on it, and so does Sony's lawyers apparently. But
Sony's going to have them.
It's pretty devastating that a game this great, that's this exclusive to one place, like that is so beloved by so many fans, that is part of like a pedigree of a studio that people love more than ever right now, doesn't get a second shot at life. You know, I think that like,
and like the fact that there's no PC release, I think that kind of like, that's an easy way to kind of just test the waters with this. Just like release it on PC as is. That part I don't understand.
Put it on PC. At least give it, you know, let it run on modern hardware. Like people have this running on PC through a PS4 emulator. Like it's wild. And so they're able to hit 60 FPS in this game just through fan patches and mods. And Sony's, you know, one of the most lucrative companies in existence. They've worked with some incredible studios. You know, they spent years putting a bunch of their in-house studios on a bunch of games as a service things that didn't pan out. We know that Blue Point was put on one of those for a while, and it's such a bummer because in the back of my head, after doing Demon's Souls remake, they were so moving on to some other.
The Tower Knight was so fun in Demon's Souls remake. I mean, come on. Well, like, you know, that's what they got to do with the other HD games. I feel like they have to modelize first before they optimize it on their like studio. But like, for me though, Demon's Souls remake was a really good like game. Kind of felt like Dragon's Dogmas 2 kind of gunplay or sword plays. Like, I mean, not really to me, but like I felt like the game just ran itself as a really good Souls-like game, and I felt like it was so easy for me to like beat it online like that, and it's just, you know, couldn't find a way to have like other games just, you know, be just as good as that, like, you know,
sort of beloved game from PlayStation, and they were remaking that, and it just didn't happen. We know that they are working on original games, or were working on an original game. We don't know if that was the games as a service game plus a different one. We know that one of those got canceled. I mean, and so I don't know. This is just one of the most beautiful, incredible, atmospheric games of all time. It deserves another shot. It deserves another chance. I talk about Bloodborne every week on the show. Last week I didn't talk about it, and people were like, "Hey, you didn't talk about it." So sorry. So the one guy who told me I should talk about it this week, you know, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Bloodborne. Happy 10-year anniversary to Bloodborne. Hopefully somebody remembers your birthday, because I always will.
There's a, you know, thankfully you're not alone there, Brian. There is a whole Return to Yharnam campaign going on right now in the community. That's running from March 24th, so started yesterday, and going to April 7th. I held my hand out like I had my Apple Watch on it. But whatever. I always do that when I'm like, what day is it? like as if it's just magically attached to my arm all
the fake watch in your hand tells you the Bloodborne remaster release date. So just keep looking at it; it'll materialize any day.
I just set it for whenever.
Well, there's one thing I tell Bloodborne fans all the time when I see them in the streets or when I go to like my local GameStop or Best Buy.
We're out there.
Best Buy can have
you know what?
Computers and all
just
that.
play Liza P. Right?
I did. I loved Liza P. I really, really did. No, I think Liza P is one of the best. I think it is the best Souls-like. Right? I think in terms of
like franchise, but not
what?
Akeem, when you're out there and you're telling people that are just waiting for Bloodborne, how do you know that they're just out there waiting for Bloodborne? Are they dressed like the villagers of Yarnum?
We are.
Are they just out there.
We have torches
with shields.
Akeem walks up. We go away.
Away we go. Yes,
they're constantly just screaming Bloodborne.
We are constantly. Yeah, it is true.
Yes.
It is true.
So true yeah.
No, Liza P was awesome. I think that team completely. The team at Neo is completely understood.
I mean, Liza P had so many good servers in it, right? Like, let's be real. The fighting in the game, the whole graphics in it was so fucking amazing. Like, I mean, Path of Exile too. When they're coming out with their new DLC in another week, which 100% I will be streaming it. But like. I'm just excited to see a whole PvP server in like another game like that. That's what hooks you, you know? You get new skins in those kind of games, like new kind of like lore and all that. Yeah, like the Labyrinth in the game is going to be good. I'm thinking everything about PoE 2 is just going to be fantastic. I mean, let's be real. Like all these MMO games they're making these days are just, they're right at their target right now and they're really doing it. It's so good.
So the assignment, I can't wait for the DLC for that game. I loved Liza P. Definitely.
It was a really good game.
If you miss Bloodborne and you want more and you somehow miss that game, then of course, yeah, play Liza P. But
Bloodborne was so good.
Also play Bloodborne. And we just need, I don't know, I hate to be like one of those people that just, begs for ports and remasters and stuff like that. I generally like to let studios just cook and do what they want to do, right? Like, I am not one of those people that signs fan petitions and is, contrary to what Akeem said, in the streets screaming with the pitchforks and the torches and stuff like that. Although I would come close with this game, but like this is one of those things where we have seen so many PlayStation games get remakes and remasters. Remakes and remasters are all the rage across the entire industry right now.
You haven't seen Xbox or any other kind of game on Microsoft, right? You haven't seen any other game get remasters. Only PlayStation games get remastered. Why not Nintendo do that, right? I mean, I don't even think I've recalled anything that Nintendo has remastered, but any other studio can remaster any kind of games, am I right? Like, let's be real. Like,
literally every studio is doing it, right? Like, all the big three are doing it. And I just think that Bloodborne's one of those games that really, truly deserves it.
It does, 100%.
If not, then cool, let the fans do it and get out of their way. Like when they started pulling all those fan projects down this year, I was like, this is it. It's coming. And like their last state of play, it was rumored that like this was going to be the one we were going to find out. We're going to see more Bloodborne then. And then we get through the whole thing, nothing in there. And then they go, well, good news. Our next state of play, guess what it's about? Borderlands. And I was like, there's no way Bloodborne's going to be at that one. So
I mean, used to be so good.
We need Bloodborne.
Then, right?
We just need it back.
We do not. We have a Borderlands movie that was so bad. And now we're going to make a Borderlands remastered instead of a Bloodborne remastered. You're serious. Bloodborne should be definitely just the remaster next game. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, the whole entire fighting in the game was so good. The boss fights were just, like, one of the best fights ever, man. I mean, you think that they're going to seductively just put CGI and all that to make it more stand out? I mean, I can't really say it. Like, I can't.
That's
really
all.
say
I'll
that
get that
much,
off my chest. I'll stop complaining about this.
Like,
and never talk about it for the rest of this year, please.
No, just this episode. Don't push your luck.
On, please. If you mention Bloodborne in next week, I'm gonna walk off.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something.
So everybody's waiting for a remaster.
My three favorite games of all time are The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Resident Evil 4, and Bloodborne. 2 out of 3 of those games got remakes.
The Resident Evil got remakes.
I'm waiting for the third.
Thing is, I don't like Resident Evil games. I think they're very boring. They're very, like, just basic. Like, you're doing a whole puzzle for a whole entire minute till, whatever his name is in Resident Evil, right? I remember him. It's just, I had a hard time just figuring out the whole, like, like, I mean, the game's fun playing the story mode. Let's be real, right? Like, but I say, Legend of Zelda is definitely a game that we've all grown up playing in the 90s. But I mean, I like those choices of games. If I had to pick my top 3 favorite games to this year right now, it has to be. I can't say Marvel Rivals now. It has to be Call of Duty. It has to be Elden Ring or something, right? Those are my top 2, but I need one more. Can I say enough, chat? I'm not saying that I like, I mean, reason why I like Call of Duty is just because that's what I started playing on my channel, you know? Like, a whole gunplay videos I used to make all the time when I was, like, little. But Elden Ring is just such a beautiful game. Very much just well-designed characters in it, and just very well, just, you know, boss fights are so realistically just fun to fight, and a lot of health potions in the game, yeah. And there's one more game I'm trying to think that I mostly loved on. I can't say really, like, what's the other third game that I love the most? I can't really think. I don't know. I'm trying to think for a minute. World of Warcraft, yeah, I could say World of Warcraft. I mean, that game, ever since, like, Burning Crusade first came out, remember me and my mom, me and my friends would be sitting there watching all kinds of trailers, and like, oh my god, this trailer looks so good. And then the game first comes out on our old computer, Microsoft back then, because we had these lanky fucking, like, monitors this small, and it's like you couldn't even see your keyboard, like, when you're playing this different lore dragon and all that. But yeah, I have a million favorite games, chat. I mean, I have a million favorite games, like, growing up playing.
One. So,
and then his life will be complete.
That's it. Then I don't need.
That's how the apocalypse happens, though. I hope. No, I do. I really hope this never happens for you, Brian. I'm sorry.
But Brian wants that because then we get to live real life Bloodborne.
That's true.
That's what it is.
The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and the 3 remakes of the apocalypse.
As soon as you queue up this game, as soon as you queue up the remaster, yeah, that's when those floodgates are going to open up. The hell gates, the hounds are going to come out. I don't want this to happen for you, Brian. I'm so sorry.
It's going to say you died across the screen for all of us in real life. And you know what?
We're gonna look up to the sky. Yeah, we're gonna look up in the sky and see you die.
And I'll look up and I'll go, you know what? It was worth it. And hopefully the loading screen isn't as long as it was on day one. Because
no, what's gonna happen is, Brian, you're gonna ascend to heaven while we're in the apocalypse. You're not gonna get to actually play it. So there you go.
Oh, there's no ascension to heaven in Bloodborne. It just gets worse and worse for everybody.
He just reincarnates.
Yeah. Like other games, if I can find the 3 umbilical cords or whatever, I can, maybe get the good ending. I actually had a relative the other day who because I don't just do this to friends, I also do this to family, was talking to me about Bloodborne, and he said he got to the end of the game, did everything leading up to it, got to the main boss, and there's that main boss who's just like, so do you accept blah 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 blah, and if you just say yes, it just gives you the shitty ending.
Yeah, the shit.
And he did that.
So funny.
And it was like he thought it was going to be like, yeah, I accept. I'm ready for the fight. Let's do this. And then it just rolls the shitty ending. And I was like, man, Bloodborne, just pure evil to the last drop.
I mean, that's why nobody's going to remaster this game. Be honest, right, guys? Like, nobody's going to remaster Bloodborne, obviously, right? I mean, this game is 10 minutes gameplay, right? Let's be real, though. Like, if they can enhance more boss fights, that would be even better. But yeah, they're saying that 100%, like 10th width, which I think, unfortunately, if Bloodborne had a remake 60 FPS patch one day, anything could be like, But this game came out 10 years ago, right? And it's like, is it 10th birthday of Bloodborne? I mean, let's be real. Seeing Bloodborne thumbnails for the split second always makes me raise my eyebrows. For a quick second, but then disappointment, though, dude. So true, dude. So true. But it's just, I think that there's a lot of videos worth checking out about, like Sony kind of, putting themselves out there to try to remake other games and try to make it even better quality and all that. But anyways, that's the ending of that video for now. Yeah, of course. I mean, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Peace and love to y'all. Peace and love. Subscribe to the channel if you are new to it. Catch you back in the next videos. Peace and love.